not abomination, it's some sort of disrespect towards God. It's like, are you saying God is not able to feed you? God is not able to provide for you. God is not able to, but He made all things, and He made those very humans who made those things. It's very tricky. It takes a while to process. You just don't think of such. It takes time. You have to really process it, and as I've always said, it has to always dawn on you personally for you to grasp it and be like, but this is sense. I could say that, and some people could get it just like that. Others could still take 5 years to 10 years to 2 years before they can actually get a revelation on this. Like, for example, maybe this, I've never heard this before or anything of that sort. Like, let's say someone would be like, maybe to be rich, you have to like sleep on your right side, never on the left. So now a person has to always be checking, am I sleeping well? Don't sleep on. Like I say, I've never had such, but this kind of instruction based that people waste years on years of things. Yo, let me not walk and skip on this leg because they said if I skip, do you understand? You are malfunctioning the body. God has made the body to be productive, to be thinking things that work together and make something of something to get back to you and sustain you. But now it's busy thinking, yo, the right side, yo, the left side, yo. You're wasting time with nonsense. People are trapped. People need deliverance. Like, this kind of things are happening. You don't sit on the chair, sit on the floor, or not on the floor, on the table, because this resembles people are in bondage. So this is not funny. So lastly, having the Christ like mindset, right? Basically, the software is just a mindset that's embedded at the essence of you, received by faith, and it just permeates within you and becomes part of lifestyle. It's just a mindset. So when you have it, that's the thing. Like I've said, we mention God in different things. I've heard that God is like the many-breasted one. You mention God in different names. So He's everywhere. He's all capable. He's all knowing, basically. So when you have the Christ-like software, you would recognize God when you call out to Him and say, I need help or guidance regarding such. He comes in a form of such a person, and it's usually in the most unthought of ways. God is creative. You will never know. And then you have to be able to recognize Him, that He's coming in the form of this, such, or that. This is God in the form of that. If God is coming in the form of Savior and be like, I'm visiting you in a thought like this, in the thought frequency of this sort, do this, go there, do that. God is coming in a different form. So it's you understand that, okay, this is something that takes a while. This is like promptly ASAP. You'd be able to recognize God be different things to you, like He's always been, but right now you need that more than ever, because now it seems like everything is mentioned, like everything's just available. I mean, you scroll here on TikTok, there's different advices for days. You could never go wrong. Information is available. The opportunities are endless, but you have to know what your the specifications of your purpose is, and what you have to become, and what you need to collect, and not collect just about anything. Basically, that tailor-made guidance, that guidance for you, God just coming to you, for you, recognizing Him being different things, different forms, because there's just a lot happening, and He could just always just present Himself in different forms to guide. And you just need that, you need that right now. You don't need anyone else always telling you. Yes, sometimes it could be in the form of someone else telling you, but that's because at times you are not in the frequency that you alert to such things. And sometimes it'll just be automatic, that if you just prayed before maybe you left the home or something, that you'll just be shielded from different things without even seeing it. So you just need that. That's about it, really. Enjoy your day further. Review correction Thursday. So yeah, I keep thinking on this situation, and it just gets me laughing. Like, seriously, when people get shocked, like, 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 it's like, don't play like that. Don't play like that, girl. Like, don't be like that. When I society, it's like, no, there's just something funny about you. Like, girl, hold up, back up. What's with you? Type of vibe. But honestly, like, seriously, like, you get people, we respond differently to different situations, encounters that we face in life. Like, seriously, you would face something, two different kinds of people. Another faces something, is like, get over it. Like, they go through it literally themselves as well. They experience it, encounter it, process it, and it's a matter of, it happens again. It's life, it's just that hump in the way. You know what I mean? Life goes on, and they just keep going at it. It was just that stumbling block. It was just that stumbling block that they encountered, and then they just get up and keep going. To another, it's like, it's traumatizing, it's traumatic, it's traumatic like, it's traumatic. It's like, you can even be stuck on it. It's like, some people have a very visual mind, or they take in the moment with every part of their being. And so now they've whenever they think they're encountering that very thing, every part of their being, every part of their senses that was just alerted in that moment, reacts, or you know alarms them, like, once more, as if like it's happening. Even if it's not there, it takes them a whole long time to actually process what another just got through. And it's not even a problem. And that's the thing. And oftentimes the first group of pupils don't have a good understanding, or the patience with the second group of people. That's why at times it's 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 rare to find people that you can relate to in with who have the same kind of temperaments, or are built in the same kind of way. But that's the thing. If you have God within you, or you have that relationship with God, you could just forgive yourself for not being like the other one is, but understanding that the God you pray to will give you that patience with yourself, and you will eventually deal with the situation a whole lot better with time, and eventually heal from it, or even get to be like the first group that I mentioned, the first group of people that I mentioned. It would be actually quite helpful, I think. Secondly, I spoke of letting people who are like myself to be like, usually how it is, like, especially in the African context of things. It's if it's on a spiritual frequency, or there's some sort of spiritual kind of frequency about you that's just heightened, and a calling, or it's classified as such, you are immediately put into a certain kind of way. You have to behave in a certain kind of way. But now, when I recall part of a scripture in Genesis 1, recall that God had made everything in the garden for Adam to eat, enjoy, but then he spoke about he must avoid the tree from the fruit, the tree of the knowledge of good and bad, something of that sort. It's that which is wrong. It's wrong because first of all, God had created everything to and for his enjoyment. So I think the tree of, I think I've grasped a different kind of revelation that makes sense. He had created everything for enjoyment, but the tree of good and bad, it's like, those kind of people who would, there's people who advise you, and it flows. It's not restricting something about it. You allow it, you connect to it, it makes sense. And then there's those kind of people, do not, it, like, especially this happens in my African people's context. Don't, maybe a girl does not sit at the door, it represents such. It's like, it's almost like knowledge that seems reasonable, but it restricts. God does not want us to be restricted. We have to live life overflowing and abundantly as he made it out to be. That's why spiritual people who should be above and ahead are, and in the back, served by those who would be considered worldly, because why? The worldlies don't live with restrictions, and so they live freely. Whatever that comes, a revelatory kind of knowledge to do something in the moment promptly and put it in the market or sell it, it works. They are within the timing, but it's not, it's not obvious that they classified as such a believer, or people who are actually believers, or who can help people spiritually should actually be ahead. Yes, newsflash, they should be ahead. And that's the thing, because they're more sensitive to people. They can better design things and better package whatever that's necessary to fulfill the need to its fullest fulfillment. Hence, they can put even the price higher so that the whatever that's been purchased, it's even, given off as according to its quality, the price in direct proportion to the price, however way you want to look at it. So it's actually wrong that people believe that no, people who are spiritually inclined should be kept away from monetary kind of things or benefits, but somehow others they see value in it, they can take it and go replicate it and make something of it, whilst others have to be confined, right? Because that's just the typical things. No, the things of the world and the things of the spirit. God made light, he birthed light amidst darkness. God created you from the dirt of the soil to live in that very world that so that's the thing. Once you start believing that this is right, this is wrong, I'm glad that I'm living in the New Testament, in the Grace Testament, because that other one is it's wrong. Because God will give you, let's say as a believer, an idea, and you end up thinking that it's from the devil. So in the end, you're gonna see everything that God would want for you, for your betterment, or for your best. That it's wrong. It's not what a Christian should do. It's not. So you are limited. Some Christians or some people who practice spirituality have limited God, but God is unlimited. You get. So yes, there's those thin lines of things that you will feel. There's that God has created that sense of gut feeling, as we know it, that conscious, that feeling. You will feel it when you're really going overboard. But some things are made to enjoyment or for enjoyment. And if that comes with monetary benefits, then so be it. But no, usually they're put within the confines. But you know what? If someone is still in that belief, let them be limited. Let them stay there. I'm not going to argue anyone out of that. But if you've come to understand God, God is love, God liberates. God is love and God liberates. And God has made everything to enjoyment, for enjoyment. Life and life overflowing. That is God's intention. That's why in the end we get remarks that are very mocking, but they hold some sort of truth to it, or to them. Yes, someone would be like, yes, you say God is all, he owes all, he's everything, but look at you. God is all, God is one, a God provider, God what? We even have different categories of name, how he provides. Hey, but where are his works? That means there's something that believers have not grasped. There is something that there's a limitation. Maybe that's why I'm meant to be alive today to say this word. There's a restriction that we need to get a revelation from to remove, because that's not God's will. Because people need to feed at the end of the day. The body has its own need and needs, that it needs sustenance and. So do people. So in other words, that very restriction to God would be not only mocking, it would be sin. It would be, what do you call that thing? That word that kore, it's not abomination. Kore, it's some sort of disrespect towards God. It's like, are you saying God is not able to feed you? God is not able to provide for you. God is not able to, but he made all things, and he made those very humans who made those things. It's very tricky. It takes a while to process. You just don't think of such. It takes time. You have to really process it. And as I've always said, it has to always dawn on you personally for you to grasp it and be like, but this is sense. I could say that some people could get it just like that. Others could still take 5 years to 10 years to 2 years before they can actually get a revelation on this. Interesting Tuesday. So, with all the recent vibes that I never thought I would encounter in my life, these vibes, tangible vibes, you've come to discover, it's just going to be short and brief. You've come to discover, knowing me, you come to discover what brought about the compilation of study. What made study? What how study was actually a form of communication. You begin to understand the processes of why a fractional distillation had to take place. You understand who the cubic, what the cubic, or who the cubic rather represents, and all the different reactions of supposed chemical imbalances or chemical balanced, the bonds that form within. You come to understand the reactions of the different chemicals in relation to who. You understand what the beaker represents or who it represents. Like I said, it dawns, it makes sense. It's a form of expression. So basically, if maybe I just sum it up, studies or education, rather that we would consider education just a compilation of different individuals communicating, expressing thoughts differently. It's just communicating. It's just an art of communication, different art of communication. Very interesting. I thought I should share. Why not? Very interesting. Very interesting. And in that communication, others were privileged to have understood what they encountered. It became an experience unpleasant, but they understood what they encountered to a point where what was the problem, the burden, they became the solution to it. They didn't want the problem, they didn't want to burden themselves with the experience, but they were a victim of circumstance, and as a result became the solution. And that solution, for many, it has been to their benefit. So may the education or the information you take in with much cognizance, so that you don't only encounter the experience, but you might make it worthwhile for others, unfortunately, with your pain, but you will get rewarded, right, for your expressing, contributing that solution, your solution, to others, and others appreciating it, because others are not able to understand to the point that they deduce the situation for what it is, accept it for what it is, forgive the situation in turn themselves, make peace to a point where they come up with a solution. It's not many. It's a grace. It's a privilege. It's not for many. But yeah, that's the kind of people we need right now. In the time that we're in, we need the kind of change drivers, those people who don't only know, I studied this, I want to seem smart, not I want to seem smart, but I understand this, and I think this part of this study is applicable for such a time as this, and this could aid in such. So you put it to effect in the time, within the time, how it's meant to be put to effect. So this is just interesting stuff. Interesting. And the last thought on it basically is that having that relationship and having downloaded the Christ software, if you could put it that way, you'll be able to recognize it's not a feeling thing, but it's a spiritual thing that is almost like a feeling. If the body you see was spirit form, you would feel it in that spirit, in your spirit body. In another sense, you will be able to recognize Christ in everything, Christ leading, Christ saying, okay, this is the carriage of safety. People are doing all sorts of things. They're living life. They don't see that time is up or something. You go there, you go do this, just like people were warned in the Bible and they got saved, right? You will recognize Christ in every way, in every sense. It's for your own benefit if you believe that you would love to live longer. You like to live life everlasting in every form of it, whether the body literally earth wears out or whatever. If you like to live life everlasting and be on the frequency of life everlasting, and you believe that you will live everlastingly in any type, form, shape or form, the body, whatever body that encapsulate another form of living spirit, you'll be able to be in it and transform to the new, whether within the earth, without, wherever. So it's that level of faith. And it does not, I mean, this is not normal kind of thinking. Who thinks such a thing? We just always thought life eternal. Did we know that we could live, you know, like in a sense, spiritually, your spirit being immortal, transforming, and energy, the whole principle of energy can be destroyed, converts to different forms or whatever states. Life everlasting could come. If I'm starting to talk about it, that means it's unfolding. There could be some sort of revelation to it. Life everlasting could be a certain group or individuals of people that it's getting to a point that they will be saved to continue maybe the human race anew, or a certain body, either a body and a spacecraft, or a literal body suit that converts to withstand certain conditions that the earth might face, but it will like stand. And but certain human races who don't have that body, does not, you don't, it's unfolding. It could unfold in a literal sense, like it's not something like beyond us, it's something that we are a part of. We are the literal change, but a certain specific group of people, an elect of a certain group of people that were aware, got the revelation, and acted on time. Get it? Yeah, these are deep stuff. You just don't think so. Literally a whole lot of people are like, if you're starting to feel pressures that you don't deserve. Like personally I felt that, but that's the vibes all over. I mean, if you can just meet people or encounter people wherever and just be going through a whole lot of things, it just shows that a whole lot of people are dealing with a lot, right? And so with that said, like the only help is God. Like literally, like having that fuel to keep you going in your car. Imagine having to stop your car and then literally try to pump fuel from your own tank within the car to give to another person. It's a bit too much. It's like way too much, you know. So you need to have that thing for yourself, that oil burning for yourself, within you, that guidance within you, around you, for you, personally catered for you, designed for you. The other thought that's coming, besides bodysuits or any kind of crap going away, it might also mean that Christ is maybe able to rearrange your bodily DNA to something that has to convert to the standard of whatever precious earth has formed or become. So, like, for example, like I've said lately, there's just certain encounters with different sorts of foods, and there's other people who can, it's not good, but they're not immediately damaged, and they actually eat and get filled, while others, they cannot even make it halfway, not even a second spoon down. Do you understand? So, slowly, other people's bodies could just be converting to survive and actually make it, whilst others, it will just be the of them because they couldn't withstand just that very thing. Get it? Yeah. Last and simple request: kindly appreciate, take what you can, learn what you can from such people that you find, like myself. Realize that I'm an aggregate of years of time of just doing the little things. I'm not out of the ordinary. I'm normal. I'm just more aware, more questioning of life, more inquisitive. I listen more to things that people don't listen to. Don't try now. Some people, when they find people like that, they want to almost like hold them invisibly captive and be like, no, you have to be this way. You can't live life now. It's just, I've been living life. I'm an aggregate. Maybe that's why I don't. That's why I'm the way I am, because I've collected bits and pieces of life's experience from different things, and that's why it seems like it's a broad kind of perspective going on. It's of a result of being who I am. I don't have to con be conformed or be put into this concised belief, typical belief of how a believer should be and behave. And if I could live a certain way and I don't feel any guilt or I don't sense it's of any wrong, it's part of me building body of whatever I give off. So do not deprive me of living the way I've been living, because you have not stopped me before and it has brought you this kind of information. So there's nothing wrong with actually living outside the confines that your gut feeling or your conscience tells you, right? So let people live, let people be. It's not about them, it's about that grace to encounter such moments of revelation and give off. I didn't have to, but I chose to. So please don't take advantage of it. Just embrace it. Embrace it, learn from them, grow from it. Forget it, seek it for yourself. It's about seeking for yourself. It's not about seeking another person to always listen to them. Now, I don't want to be some sort of an idol or God. You have to take off. That's why some people, usually people who teach, who give you instruction off, that's why you have a formula, but from there on you can play around with the formula. That's why I can, like, people who teach usually, or people who give instructions of anything, they tell you put your uniqueness to it. It's supposed to start from there and continue onwards through you with your signature on it, your way of doing it, your kind of flavor, if you would have it. It's not about now having to always hear from her. How about next time you just sit down and listen to yourself think, or your God speak to you? How about that? Monday thought slash Monday motivation. Post delayed. Sorry about that. Um, like sometimes I encounter weird things, but I'll break it down. So fine. At times, like you encounter things like there's just a whole lot of things happening in the time we're living in, right? And you, like, as a person, whether personally or just generally, you encounter a whole lot of things, and sometimes you may feel led in whatever way. Like at times you just pay attention, or you've experienced something, so you have that experiential alertness that you have, and you look out for things because, or maybe they just, you program that, okay, I'm familiar with this, I know how to better handle it the next time around, right? You feel led in that way. So it's two-sided. It's either you've experienced it before, and then when you encounter it again, you're more aware of it and you're more alert and more wiser in dealing with it or handling it better, or you just pay attention to the reactions of someone who might be encountering it before you, whatever the case may be, if you led in any kind of sense. So I have usually moments where, like, literally, I was not led, I was not told. I'm not trying to prove a point of anything, but it leads to some kind of point. That's kind of the motivation in the whole um, clip. So fine. And then you get moments like certain people, let's say maybe you had guardian angels of some sort, and certain people will be like, did you tell her? And it's like, did you tell baby that? And it's like, I can sense it's in different areas, not just locally. It's like sometimes it's in certain areas. And some people are like, it's two different people, by the way. So these, I take it, is the people who are not supposedly for me, and maybe they think I'm trying to hide. There are people for me, but there are others who are not totally for me. So they're trying to prove the point. Did you tell her? It's like, mm-mm. Did you tell baby? It's like, okay, this is getting scary. This girl is just on another level. No, this girl is a human being. Like it, it gets to a point where I just laugh. Like people can act tough, people can act like the powerful, people can act all sorts of things. But when the mysterious happens, it's like people go back to like being a child. Like they literally are taken aback, gobsmacked by it, and like in total awe that, okay, we've been thinking God exists and we've forgotten that, but it's like something about you, there's a little bit of a reminder that it kind of reminds us that God exists. Like, guys, this is one thing. Like, I love, if you would observe me, like, if you would have the opportunity to observe what I do on a daily, you'd see that I'm not a typical Christian. I'm not a typical believer that always praying God. But there is something when I do go to those moments, or when I do go there, to that secret place with my God, with my God. That moment I go there, I take it there, it goes there. It's that deep. I go there. It's like literally drilling for water. I go there. I go there in the moment, and I just take what I need until I might like need it again whenever. Like it just, the bottom line is that you have moments where you hide yourself in the secret place with your God. And you'll just have that streak of mystery that people will not get, and people will just still marvel at God and praise God for whatever reason. Like seriously, people just need, like, in what, like the moments and the times you're living in, there's no way you can live with your own sanity. Your own sanity will not do you any good. So if someone can really see that she's literally like me, myself, as a human being, but she can encounter such, it gives someone that hope. It gives someone that hope that actually, you know what, maybe I should call upon this God. He can actually kind of help me. I mean, she's just a mere human being, just like, that's what I'm trying to just get people to understand, that you don't have to do anything, but if you just go sincerely to that place, or just a simple prayer, because it's a process, it's a journey to get into a certain place. It took time, it took years, just little prayer moments that built, and it becomes something that you don't understand. You've been, you know, literally being upgraded in the little things, being faithful in the little things. You end up just being in awe that, okay, I've gotten to such a point without even realizing it, because it just felt like a journey, it just felt like a relationship, it just felt like, yeah. But yes, you're gonna have moments where you feel like, this God, where are you? You know what I mean? But that's the thing. There's this other song I used to like, I just recently thought of. Come, now is the time to worship. Now is the time to give. One day every. Fast forward. Still, the greatest treasure remains for those who gladly choose you now. Like, I feel like the thing about Christianity now, what I've come to personally notice, and what has come to dawn on me personally, is that we have like, the word has been preached for years, man, for many years. You actually have the choice. I mean, out of the God we know, it's a free will. You have the right to choose to believe, or that the Son of God died for your sins. It's actually a choice. But there's gonna come a point where people will start to notice the benefits of those who've accepted Christ. Christ in you in the end times going forward will be like that software that allows you to be on cruise mode, where it's not that you're not facing what everyone is facing, you're facing it, but there's just something that will just give you that edge. So it's literally going from I can choose to, okay, I think I shouldn't miss I shouldn't miss whatever body or carriage that's saying safety, and that will be like accepting Christ, because you want to be in the same level or frequency of receiving information personally. You can't rely on someone who preaches. It's good that they preach and whatever, it's a good thing, but you need it personally, because you're going through daily encounters, daily life challenges. Daily you need to make choices, and you need certain kinds of aid to help you choose what's right, choose the right direction. Because literally these days, just being either at the wrong place at the wrong time, either with the wrong person at the wrong time, that kind of thing could literally be what is death from life, right? So it will be that carriage of safety. But the thing is, even those who believed, and many would view as whoa, like you just on another level, they've taken years. And if we were like, imagine if we are currently busy uploading the self story. Let's say others will look like they're literally at 100, they're not 100. Others are probably like at a 75, at a 80, at a somewhere there, but they're not there yet. So careful to not be too late, because yes, you can choose Christ in a moment, but the benefits comes with the levels of having been promoted out of whatever your level of faith throughout the encounter journey. So if you're gonna choose Christ at a moment where now it's too late, but you've accepted him at least to make it to heaven, you might have processed, you're gonna maybe be lucky enough to process until a 15, until and it's not gonna be enough on time, and certain benefits will be missed out. So I think it's best if Christ makes sense to you, like you can go, like there's many people who do the salvation prayer. I'm sure you can Google it or something like that. You just simply believe that Christ, Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God, died for your sins, and you just accept and believe that he did that, and you welcome him into your life. It's an inward work. It takes time. It's a relationship. So the kind of people do the salvation prayer, you can do that. It's for your own good. Literally, people, when you hear people just not making it in a day, it's as a result of not having the benefits of knowing what to do in the moment. So wise up, Christ wise. And the last thought on it basically is that having that relationship and having downloaded the Christ software, if you could put it that way, you'll be able to recognize it's not a feeling thing, but it's a spiritual thing. It just messes with who I am and what I stand for. Like, to other people who know me closely and don't know me to be treated like that, over the years they've come to be shocked at how this person was treated so decently. Why all of a sudden there's like she's treated like she's a walkover or whatever the case is. Like it's like as if I don't understand myself, or I don't know what's the deal is. Like, I don't understand who has introduced me in such a demeaning manner, but they've done it. And that's the first impression. As much as I've been around the area for quite some time, this is the very first impression to others personally, on a personal level, and it's not on, because it's already tarnished how people view me from whatever angle, and it's not on. Like, people know. Please, if you have a problem with me, come to me and be like, baby, I'm offended to you because of such. It's better that way, so that I can confront it. You making videos, people come and align themselves while you talking. For what reason? I don't understand. Next minute it's as if I'm talking to them, right? Next minute people now do their own random thing. The way they are so used to her. Okay, she's treated like this. This is what is done to her, or supposed image in this case. So we're gonna do the same thing, and then do the lip seal, or you talk too much. Or in Korean, they standing in the place of Korean kids. On top of that. This is disrespect on another level that I don't even understand who and what in the hell they've introduced in my name, but clearly it's there, and I'm addressing it because I feel horrible. Obviously I have the audience, and I don't know where they live, and I can't go one by one to people. They'll be like, what? You know how people act up. So please, people, let's respect each other. I don't really have time for people. I don't have time for you. When I'm sitting wherever I'm sitting, I'm not scouting for what you're doing. I have no time for you. I don't know you. So I don't understand why you about my life and my business. Like, but people to that degree, it's out of control. Like, it's crazy. Like, no, man, let's respect each other, please. Boundaries. And like this whole pretense, or people acting as if they know you. The dangers of it is that in the end is that they could end up making it, or framing a person as if they're talking to you regarding something. Like, if I'm up to no good, I will take whatever up to no good of a situation I'm up to. But if I have nothing to do with it, I hate to bear the consequences of things I do not know. There's nothing I hate like bearing consequences of things I don't know. I hate that with everything that I am. Just going through the motions and only to find out that, oh shit, it was not her. Really? Then what do we do from there on? Sorry? Yep. And then what ends up happening in the end is that these people are widespreading themselves to kids. They're going to end up being disrespected by kids. And tomorrow it will be their own fault. They will be fighting amongst each other, or rather they will be avoiding to fight amongst each other once they get caught up in, or start stepping on each other's boundaries and toes. And obviously at times they might fight against each other, or honestly at times they might really target a person like me minding their own business. And God forbid, because really I am really minding my own business, but people are always just finding the need to just irritate me with things that don't make sense, things that I don't understand. How in the world do I connect to it? Because I don't affiliate, and I don't find myself regrouping with such people and individuals. And like I said, I don't mind people. I can talk to anyone of, but I want to get into consequences of things that I've taken actions for, not things that people are doing and then suddenly framing me for things that I don't understand. Like, it's pure boredom. I don't understand what it's getting at. It's not on. Eh, it's that whole who does she think she is, or now collectively others who are probably angry, or whoever they met on the sites that I don't even know who met who way. It's a matter of now, who do they think they are, or who does this family think they are? That's the vibes now I'm getting. And it's like, where in the equation do I fit in? Where in the equation did you meet up with me? Where in the equation, what time, what day did I introduce you to someone that I supposedly am family with? You understand? You've done things in the dark, somewhere in the corner. And then today things get complicated. It's a matter of, we'll blame her because now we see her. We met them, but we see her. So now she's the target. Like, it's totally undeserving. It's undeserving, and it's like you getting angry at the wrong person. Divert your attention, anger at the right people. Not me. It's clearly not me you were talking to. So, years back when it was still rough, and it's still rough for many, there was a tendency that obviously people I would know, and old and small alike, the older caught on to the whole tendency, but the youth, if you could call it youth years, yeah, what is 45 still considered 40 something? 45, you're 40 somethings from 33 to 45, the age cap. But yeah, there was a tendency of making people favors on the basis of, okay, my nickname, ne? It's obvious, it's known, right, what my nickname is. And so now people would use that. I caught the angle. Use that name to acquire people favors. Kid favors, and I think in the long run it got out of hand. The like with getting people I might just, not even sometimes friends, but people I just affiliate with, would just mess with the guys I wouldn't say dating, but like I affiliate with or close with. Like, can it stop? Can you just look for another basis for doing each other favors? Because now it's going out of hand, and people are getting the tendency, they are used of me. It's like they're close to me, and now they can relate to me. Like, I don't mind getting to know people of any age personally. I don't mind. I really do not mind. But I don't want people imposed on me as if I know them, but I don't. And now they think like they have the right of way to behave anyhow, any sort of way with me. Please, like, can we look for another? Like, can we look? I'm a people's person, but like, when people start, getting too used of a person, like I've been saying all the time, it's not something I'm saying for it to happen. That's the thing. That's how much of a no boundaries kind of environment some people have put around me, to a point where like it seems like it's an okay thing to do. Like, she could never do anything. Like, that's the impression. She could never do anything, because that's the thing. I'm a people's person, and even if I seem to have been endowed with favor of a vast of audience, be it worldwide or whatsoever, I wouldn't want to use that. I wanted a certain, if I would want a kind of platform like that, it would be for something useful. So I'm not going to go about now boasting about something like that, to go about feeling the need like I can hurt anyone. No. I'm using whatever platform I use it to serve for whatever purpose good, and for whatever future intentions I might have towards it. But I don't appreciate it. Like, it seems like now it's a game still. Like, you meet someone, you don't even meet them. I mean, You share whatever information you share online. Yes, it's an online thing to share. You hear people saying share all the time. You hear people saying spread the word, or you do something like that. You share, and then they think somehow the person you are affiliated with, you're very close to, and it seems like if she could be into him, like why can't I? It's a good thing. If you think you can go for someone, go for that, but don't go it on the basis that you want to disrespect me or demean me or look down on me or whatever the case is, because of the impressions you've been given. That's what I don't like about the whole situation. Now people feel the need to, oh, whatever she thinks she can try, I can, like, what the hell? Like, I may look like normal, but let me not go there. You know what I mean? So people must just know where to draw the line. So now you even get to a point whereby you don't know what kind of favors are asked, and some people are no longer in the environment. So I'm stuck with the residue of whatever they left behind, and now I have to deal with people that were supposedly hang with, be around me, observe me for no reason, like I've said. And then besides that, you know, you still get people who experience whatever encounters they have, and they can now have the guts sometimes to even go up to a person's parent, not even mine only, like a person's parent, and be like, you know, this agent did the most, do you mind using this? Like, it's out of hand. We don't know where to draw the line anymore. That's why I'm even glad I drew some boundaries to not affiliate and associate with any and everyone in my area, because I can see what kind of doors it could have opened. People could, you know, you would want to be decent with people, and other people could just want to take it a bit further. It is really out of control. It's out of hand. Let's leave what in the past in the past. Let's move on with life, and life will move on. And maybe someone who does not know me and recently wants to just understand what kind of a person they are. I don't know, maybe that's their take. Next minute what they do is that they'll get a tendency of maybe coming around the hood, speaking to whatever of the youths that might be around the hood, and youths around the hood, and then basically inquiring. And what they inquire, they'll probably inquire about something that happened in the past. And since I don't put my life out there, and I don't have everyone in my area out there, so I didn't expect everything will be out and about. So it's clearly obvious that what I'm talking is point on. So they just come around these people, and I don't understand what they want. I don't understand why people they just live their lives and just be happy. I don't get it. Like, I don't understand how people could be on a mission. Like, these are heavy favors for people years on still. You still tell them to stop, or you still tell them, be about your business, mind your own business, and they still at it. And it's like, what kind of flippin' favor is that? What kind of favor? You know, people move out and people have eyes around, and it's like, I'm scouted, and it's like, people, there's nothing interesting happening. I mean, you can even go on my YouTube channel. I'll try to vlog the bit that I can. There's nothing much happening as yet that is interesting. So I don't get what's the fuss with me, really. I've not really asked for the hype that I'm getting. I don't deserve it for any reason. My life is just of a normal random person currently. So I would like that it be treated as such, and I would appreciate that it be treated as such, and people to mind and respect other people's private spaces. Like, if I'm chilling somewhere, don't be coming around me and you want to ask yourself, why am I chilling there? Who am I waiting for? It's none of your business. Like, people, live your lives. As I said, if I'm screaming for help, that is alarming. That's like over here. And I doubt in that help moment, I wouldn't even know. You know, like, people literally, I'm talking youth specifically. Youth will literally come around and be like, what you doing there? It's like, now they're acting all parenty around me. Images are created. Like, in the literally front opposite of me, like, people are replicating images, and it's like, why do you do that? It's like, now you want to check what this one is doing to confirm is that one doing the same. We're not the same people. Stop it, please. Like, we're not the same people. We're not doing the same thing. We don't have the same DNA. Like, leave whatever you're doing. You're still young. Be about your life. Like, I shouldn't even be concerned for such a people who are just always on the random negative level with my life. But like, I'm really concerned. What do you aspire for in life if you're gonna live your life always being sent to go look, what is she doing? Comparing if the same images are supposed to be doing the same. Come on, man. Gee, let's live our life. In all honest truth, I feel disrespected, and I'm not known around the area. You can ask about me. People know me from there. I know her face. I think I know she's caught this but they don't know me personally. So there's no way I have introduced myself to people I don't know in such a manner. I could never let myself be disrespected like that. It proves all the more that there's another party who did that and not myself. So, like, seriously, if really you feel like you bothered and very irritated or something you've offended by, I don't know what, besides my presence, because clearly I'm gonna be around, tell me, come to me and tell me that I assume such, I'm told such, whatever the case is, just stop me and tell me so that we can get to the bottom of it and solve it. Because there's no use always hating on someone you do not know. Hating on someone you don't know like you know them. It's not on. Like, seriously, like, it's about we got lives and we just moved on with our lives. This is not on. Mm-mm. Correction review Thursday. I've been going on about ancestral. It's not only ancestral. A deep wish or a deep desire to have a certain someone, not another one, or a prayerful parent, not only ancestral or whatever. A prayerful parent could also be like, I don't want that one. I don't prefer that one. And in the moment where you just simply ask something simple, you could miss it. Like, you could miss the pin code because you are panicking. You could view it as something totally out, or the people who might know or have. That's why it's important that when such moments do come, it's not everyone that knows about it, because people who are aware of what could happen, they could come in and be like, if such a thing happens, you must just know you're in trouble. They draw danger to the very thing that is supposedly blessing, so you could be blinded in that instance. And that's the whole name of the game. Their spirits, their forces, whether it's people you know or other forces, they're going to play that role. And also, I'd like to believe this is more of what, a person experienced. The female experiences, they're taking on a new body, they going to a new family. Supposedly that's the intention of the whole process. It's the guy's family that is more in control of things, because she's whichever female is moving into the guy's family. It makes sense, right? So that's why you get some other families are just too possessive. I don't get why. I hope I don't fall into that category. Like, I will untangle myself very fast. Like, you get those, like, other families, they're so possessive over their child. That's why sometimes others, it's what they prefer to take a double barrel, but others don't want a double barrel. And then there's some girls, sometimes the girl's family sometimes can be so, it's not about you experiencing what the girl experienced, it's all about the guy, it's not about the girl. That's where the mistake, I think, is, because it's very confusing. Other families, like, you'd say like the guy is marrying into the girl's family. It's like, okay, don't you get the order? And maybe they want to enforce like most, like 60% of their side things and stuff like that. Unfortunately, there are some families like that, where someone was, and it's like, what's the case here? Is your daughter marrying into ours, or we marrying to you? Are we taking your last name, or are you taking, those kind of difficulties? Like, seriously, I really, I'm not saying I would consider it, but like, I'm not against it either, but I really see why people elope, why people do their own thing sometimes without even involving family, or just positioning people as if it's family. I can see why, because there's people who can just make something very simple complicated and very complex unnecessarily. Okay, what do I mean by disconnect so as to not cause confusion? Sometimes the process is, sometimes you meet someone, the parents' journey was that, if let's say that potential, the parents' journey was that people went separate ways, and then after a certain period of time got back together. So if you haven't closed that chapter, there's still that thing that you might go or get back together with this person, and the journey might continue, depending if you are still in the same boat about being together. So if you disconnect and you tell a person that I'm fine, I think I want something new or someone new or whatever the case may be, then that journey gets cut off. Sometimes parting ways does not even mean it's over. That's what many don't realize. It could just simply mean that the journey, it's just the journey of that other love is just unfolding still, but it's unfolding in separation. Yeah. As I speak about this, I come to realize really how powerful spirituality is, because in the fact that if I'm connected to my child and I don't want them being with someone. Correct, you miss the moment. You know those moments you were like, but I almost said yes, but I almost did such a thing, but something was just, that's something. It's like invisible, puppet like strings that someone is just pulling and be like, I don't want you, and then you just make a mistake of just missing a moment that was meant to be grasped or experienced in a way that it could have been. It's that powerful, like desire. And if you know that someone does not want you, it's best you just leave it alone. Because really, imagine the contrast. The contrast usually is like, like, what does this person want from my child? Like, if they say, oh, wait, oh, and if they say, oh, not that one, that one is just, ooh. You know what? If that girl does not stop, seeing my child and whatnot, hey, I'm gonna cause trouble. You don't want those kind of vibes. But funny enough, at times that very vibe could be the test. Hore, what do you do when you face with such a thing? Sometimes you don't even need to qualify for anything being asked or anything. It's a character thing. I want a kind of girl with this kind of character. I want to go with this kind of character. Sometimes, it could be a different desire for someone who the parent is not. Like, so that they can help carry a burden or load that the parent couldn't. So it might be even a total different girl in context to what you might even think under normal circumstances. Gore, the thought of you is just contemplation of the worst. Or but let's not embarrass ourselves. We all know our places. It's better you be honest with yourself before there's any kids in the equation. It gets even more complicated. Yeah, I think that's about it. These things are tricky, man. You'll never know. I guess it comes differently in all different facets. These are just guiding tips, but like, it's broad. You could never know. Like I said, you could still know and still miss it, because sometimes you could just totally not be in the mood or feel like this person is disrespecting you. It could be the most bizarre and unthought of requests that could just turn you out and off, and maybe that's for a reason. That means that person, something about them is just gonna disconnect with you in the long run. So why not then? Last thoughts on this is that if you know that you went through a trial or test, it was fairly given unto you, and you missed it, and another child grasps the lesson or grasps the password, be fair. Just let people be, like I said, because that's going to open your ways to find where you would belong, right? So leave it alone. It may hurt, cry over it, whatever the case is, but let it be. If someone has found its fair and square, or whether they were given the pin, it's besides the point. The fact is, that's the person that they might want to be with, unless they opt out themselves. So yeah, let what's meant to be. One Kiss Wednesday. Okay, so I think I figured how I would never, given the opportunity, miss out on my soulmate in the near future. If you never want to miss out on your soulmate, but I bet that once I've said this, many are going to be like, oh my gosh, I think I get what you say. I think I've experienced this as well. I think I missed this, but maybe it was for a reason. Okay, to unlock the rest of this message, simply go to my YouTube channel and then watch the rest. Yeah, I'll put it down below or in my bio, or both. Yeah, actually.